Good morning, Ayya.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. It's Easter Sunday, and it's a beautiful spring day. And anytime's a lovely time for meditation. But it's a lovely time for meditation. So, is there anyone here that's needing like beginning instruction? Has everyone here had some experience and some instruction in particularly Theravada Buddhist meditation? Is anyone brand new? You can raise your virtual hand and it'll pop your image up if you need a little bit of instruction, more than just the general guidance that I give. We can start. And I always like to remind people just to get yourself into a position that you can comfortably hold for. We're going to be sitting for about 40 minutes. And I usually like to start with a little bit of scanning, that what's called scanning or sweeping the body, being aware of the position of the body and the feelings in the body, particularly touch, getting a sense of the body in the environment. But as you're scanning, if you notice there's some pain or discomfort, that shifting slightly can help. As you scan, this is a good time to really make sure your body is in a good alignment, good position. You can move a little bit. If you're sitting on a cushion on the floor, also could just make sure you're well supported, high enough. Your rope isn't falling off. Anyway, anything that you need to, at the beginning of a period, just kind of assessing that position of your body is good. And just feeling the contact with it. In this tradition, we sit with our eyes closed. So feeling the contact of the body, the weight of the body pressing against what's supporting it. And feeling the touch of the clothes, the temperature of the room, anything that can get you kind of tuned into the general presence of the body in your environment. And starting with the feet, just really feeling the feet either, excuse me, if it's in contact, your feet are in contact with the floor or wherever, whatever pressure from gravity or touch of clothing, socks, whatever, just a sense of the feet. Really starting with the tips of the toes and, excuse me, bringing the awareness upwards. And just allowing the muscles in the legs as you scan upwards, just inviting the muscles in the body to be at ease, starting with the legs. As your awareness moves upwards over the legs. And then again, the pressure, the buttocks against the chair, or against the cushion. And upwards to the abdomen. You might feel the abdomen expanding and contracting. The sides of the body, even the back. Feeling the expanding of the lower part of the body with the in and out breathing. Just the breath at its natural rhythm. Bringing the awareness upwards at your own pace. Over the chest. You can even feel the expansion in the back, the upper back, the sides of the body. Just this gentle flow of breath. And you can bring your awareness up to the shoulders and down the arms. Feeling the touch of the hands and the arms against wherever they're positioned in the body. It's really allowing the hands to be at ease. And bringing the awareness slowly up over the arms to the shoulders. With your kind and careful attention. Just gently reminding or encouraging the areas that may have tension to be at ease. And up to from the shoulders up to the neck. And the jaws. Facial muscles. Especially around the eyes, just gentle encouragement. To be at ease. You sense the sides of the head and the back of the head. And the top of the head. And at this point, if you care to continue scanning the body at your own pace, you can start with the top of the head. And downwards is your own pace and exploration of the body, inviting it to be at ease. And if you care to bring your attention to the in and out breathing, this is a good time. either the full cycle of breath, feeling the expanding and contraction of the body, flow of the air out the nostrils and in again. Or if you feel ready to, you can bring your awareness to one spot, aware of the flow passing over that spot. The nostrils, the abdomen, or anywhere that you may have been using as a location to observe the breath. And it's the nature of the mind to have some thoughts arising. And when that occurs, just bring your gentle attention, your careful attention to the thought and just allow it to pass. Gently bring it back to the body, be it awareness to the body, to the breath. Or wherever you last remember scanning. If you're continuing to do the scanning, and if the thoughts are persistent, just be patient with yourself. Just be aware thinking is happening. As soon as you can, just restore your awareness to the body. So as we approach the end of this period, just get in touch with your object if you've drifted off. And also take a little time to consider what was helpful, what you learned, what's supportive. Through your own experience. And as after the bell rings, bring your hands together in Anjali and bring your full awareness to that movement. Dukkha pata chani dukkha, baya pata chani baya, sokha pata chani sokha, ontu sabe pipani no. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the sorrowful be free from sorrow. So too may all beings be free. So before we open this to discussion, I'm going to change this to gallery view. And I would like to share a simile that occurred to me. Being Easter, I don't know if this is exactly appropriately for Easter, but there's a simile of the chicken and the eggs. Well, there's actually more than one chicken in this simile, and this appears in the suttas. And they both have a clutch of eggs. They haven't hid them around the yard, but they have them in their the nest that they created for their young. And one hen is standing by the nest, looking at the eggs and saying to herself, "Oh, when will my chicks hatch? Oh, when will my chicks hatch?" And she's just kind of sitting there worrying about the eggs. And the other hen is sitting diligently on the nest and caring for the eggs. I think they even turn the eggs, and I've seen them, they even pluck the feathers from their breasts so that the heat of their body comes through to the egg to heat the eggs. So this one hen is diligently caring for the, she's not even thinking or wondering or worrying about it. She's just doing the work of incubating the eggs. So, of course, you know which hen is successful in incubating her eggs. The one who's just doing the work, yes? So this is a simile for our practice. So if we're like just worrying, oh, when will I see the results? When will my mind be peaceful? Then this kind of not going to help. It's not helpful. But if we just devote ourselves to this practice, then we will start seeing a difference. We will start seeing an effect. And the egg, a being that's maturing in the egg is they're contained, and it's dark, right? It's a cramped. It starts getting more and more cramped in that egg, right? So eventually, the chick with his or her claws and beaks crack the egg from the inside and break through. So they're free. They're in the light. So this is a simile of the darkness and confinement of ignorance. We're confined in ignorance, and it's dark and uncomfortable and suffering. And then our practice helps us break out. The wisdom that's developed through the practice helps us break out into the light, into freedom. And this whole experience helps us develop wisdom. So I'm offering this for your reflection, and wishing all of you on this day light and wisdom and breaking through, breaking out of ignorance into the light. So now I'll offer or I'll open it up to any questions that people have about meditation specifically. You can put up a virtual hand, or if you're on camera, that you can put your hands up in Anjali, and this is called Anjali. It's a Pali word, sign of respect, respecting ourselves and respecting others, respecting the Buddha particularly. So any questions or comments about one's own meditation? I saw some movement. I don't know if there's, maybe somebody went off. Oh, yes. Ruwanti.
I just wanted to ask, the simile you just said, is it coming from a sutta, or you just thought about it?
Oh, that's definitely from the suttas. I said it in my own words from memory. It just occurred to me. So I think in Majjhima Nikaya, there's this one sutta where Venerable Ananda is speaking. I think the Lord Buddha has asked him a question, and he's asked the Ananda to explain to the other bhikkhus something, and this is a simile that he uses. And I think it also appears in the Samyutta Nikaya, but I can't remember where it is. You'd have to, if you have a hardbound copy, what's really beautiful about the Wisdom publication, Bhante Bodhi's translation, is that you can look up the similes. Probably if you say hen and chicks or hen and eggs, you could find it, but I don't have the I don't have the reference right offhand. Somebody might be able to find it online or in their hard copy. And it's a little different than what I had just said from memory.
That's all right. I thought it was beautiful and encouraging as well. So, but I'll look it up. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And yeah, the breaking out I think that's also a beautiful part of it. There's the one part is with the hen tending to the eggs, and she has to do the work of incubating the egg. She has to stay with it. But then the idea of breaking through this, I think these are two different, there may even be two different similes, but breaking out. And there's a number of teachings, I think, that has that concept of being just enclosed and confined in ignorance, this massive ignorance that's been, holding us in, and then to be able to break out into the light, break out into awareness, the full awareness and knowledge and wisdom. So it just occurred to me. But I don't have all the references. So welcome. If anyone has come up with a reference, you can put it in the chat, or you can put up a virtual hand or actual hands. Things have shifted around. So does anyone else have a question? Everyone's meditation is going well. I think, Patipada, did you have your hands up there?
Yes. I just wanted to say thank you, Ayya. Your guidance and your guided meditation was very easy to follow, and it kept me focused as you were going through it. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. I think if we have our own guided meditation too, when we're doing a silent meditation at home, for me, sometimes when I get distracted, I'll even kind of internally speak to myself, feeling the weight of my body on the cushion. It might help us to stay focused, or at least get established. And sometimes if I see my mind has gone off, I realize I haven't even started. I haven't even. So we have to be careful when we sit down on the cushion that we get put our attention. I like to do the body scanning. That helps me, starting from coarser to more subtle as we go along. And the breath is actually pretty subtle in it. Sometimes if we're just following the breath at one point, then it's easier to get distracted. So it's good to shift to a so-called coarser. The mindfulness doesn't have to be coarse, but the object can be a little bit coarser, like the more full feeling of the breath rather than in one spot. That's why I usually try to do that kind of progression.
And sometimes the relaxation can make me feel like nodding off, because once the relaxation becomes, the complete body is relaxed, the body then wants to fall asleep. And so I adjust the posture, I focus on the spine, keeping the spine straight, and that also helps.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you have a way to, if you're aware of this pattern in yourself, this is a thing with repeated sitting, we see patterns in our meditation, and then to be able to anticipate, I may fall asleep. Opening up your eyes, adjusting straightening out the posture, as you're saying. There's a number of things, or changing the object if it's too subtle. If you're watching the breath and out of one point and it's too subtle, you might switch to another object. I see Gabrielle. Is that how you pronounce it? How do you?
I am Alessandra.
Alexandra? Alexandra?
Alexandra and Gabriella.
Gabriella? Okay.
Yeah, for us it's evening because we are in Sweden.
Oh, welcome. So
Thank
you have a question?
I wanted just to, about the simile,
Mhm.
I will look it up because I find it is extremely interesting, because I was thinking that the birth of a chick is pretty similar to, if one think of an egg, as you said it so nicely, that it's in the darkness. The chick doesn't see anything, and at a certain point will be probably able to open up to the light. And the same is for a butterfly that is a little, what is called?
Chrysalis? Chrysalis?
Yes. But and it go inside its own cocoon is undergoing an incredible change. We don't see anything from outside. We see the cocoon, we see the egg. We don't know what happens there inside, but there is a lot of things that happens. And for me, what you were saying was giving support and hope for the practice, because it's not always, or I must say, it's often not anything that is like baboom, wonderful things happening, especially with everyday life things that happen. But the continuity, I don't know, the mind is still interested in sitting. So I think the example of the egg for me was very supportive.
That's also very beautiful, the idea of the chrysalis. That, from the outside, it doesn't look like much. And then if you try to mess around with that chrysalis, you end up probably killing the butterfly inside. So you just wait. And the butterfly isn't thinking, may I burst out? May I have wings or whatever? It's just developing at its own pace. And then it comes out, and it's actually, I don't know if I've seen the butterfly just as it comes out, and then it's moving its wings. The wings are very contracted at first, and then they start expanding. It gets the fluid or whatever into the wings, and it's also probably drying off the wings. And then it takes off, it's free. It's such a beautiful metaphor. I didn't think of that one before. So thank you for sharing that. And yeah, it is in the sutras. It may be, you might find the hen and the eggs and the egg breaking out of the egg. But I think the one teaching in the Majjhima Nikaya has both. First, he talks about being confined in the egg, and then the impatient hen that's not tending to the egg, and I think those two appear together, but I think they also appear separately.
Okay,
So,
I will check it out.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't do the research in advance, but I did think about it while I was.
But it was very nice to share, to receive the example. Thank you very much.
Oh, and thank you for tuning in all the way from Sweden.
Yes.
And then we have, I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce the name, Casolo. So, how do you pronounce your name?
It's actually my sister's name. This is her computer. My name is Dakota.
Dakota.
And this is my sister Karen. Hello.
Oh, okay. The K is the initial. Okay. I thought, yeah.
I just wanted to add that I once was raising ducks in an incubator, and and we had a friend who was egg sitting for us, who thought that one egg was taking too long. It had been pecking for 24 hours, and he was afraid. And this fear, in his fear, he helped it, and it had some problems, that duck, all
Oh.
through its life, because it was born through this fear. You know, it didn't get to do its own thing. It didn't get to fulfill its practice, basically.
Wow. So how long does it take for the duck to break out of a shell?
Usually about 24 hours.
Oh,
It probably would have been fine on its own, but anyway.
yeah. So yeah, not to interfere. Yeah, and then with our practice, we may, I mean, it's not irreversible. If we are experiencing impatience or anxiety or something like that, it'll slow us down. It's not gonna, but if we're persistent, and we won't do some irreversible damage that I know of. But
Well, and a lesson for me is that one lesson for me is that I often, you know, looking around at everybody else, it's easy to see how much work they have to do and to want to help them get it faster.
yeah, we have to allow
But,
people their own process. But
yes.
also a skilled teacher can help us.
Yes.
But we have to do the work ourselves.
Yes.
But I think allowing the time and being patient, that would be certainly something you'd learn from the taking 24 hours. I wouldn't imagine that would be the length of time. And maybe duck's eggs are harder than chicken eggs, but who knows? I don't know. I've never, been aware of that whole process with a chicken's egg. I've been in places where we had chickens, but we would one day we would see the chicks, and that was all the chicken's business to hatch the eggs. But yeah.
It
So,
definitely takes everything they've got to get out of the egg, and unless they go through that process, they don't do well. They usually die if they don't go through that process.
mhm. So yeah, that's a good metaphor for us too, because it does take some effort and time and patience, and it's not, we can't guarantee it's going to be easy. In fact, we have to guarantee that there's going to be difficulties. So just that persistence, the persistence of either the hen sitting on the egg, or the chick having to really work at making that breakthrough. It's really but then there's joy and happiness along the way that we can experience. We can actually see short-term benefits. And if we think of how, if we've been meditating for about over 5 years and look back and think about how things were 5 years ago, doing some kind of periodic comparison. This is recommended by a number of teachers, that we do see there is development happening. And it will happen if we're consistent. We have a daily practice, persistent practice.
I want to also, if I may, say thank you so much. I have just learned about your organization and the monastery, and I'm very, very excited to become part of your greater community. And I have a history with Vipassana, and it's very masculine at the teaching. And this meditation that you offered this morning, and all of the things that I'm reading about the activities of the monastery and videos I've watched, they have such a very different flavor. And oh, I'm so grateful.
Oh, you're very welcome. Where are you living?
I am in Fort Bragg right now,
Oh, okay.
California,
We have a
just north of y'all.
yeah, we have a hermitage on the Sonoma coast in Jenner. So
Yes, I'm hoping to someday become part of it.
yeah, so that's not so far to come to visit sometime.
Yes.
Okay. So is there any other comments or questions? See, I think Patipada may be indicating.
One of the things I would like to share, which I think is can be hopeful, and helpful, is that with the meditation, the continuous meditation, if one can observe in daily life how long it takes to get angry or how long anger lasts, the more we meditate, the shorter that period of anger seems to be. And then the more we meditate, we can start feeling what's happening in the body when anger starts arising. And that observation can help to actually take steps to not engage in the hook that can trigger what's arising. So I think that the more we meditate and the more we can be present in the body, like you're teaching us, that is very, very helpful to monitor and be aware of what's happening as different experiences and different individuals, when they say things to us, can tend to trigger us. And the more we practice and the more we're present with the body and aware, we can see when that is happening and we can choose a different response.
Thank you.
It's very, very powerful, the meditation.
Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. That is definitely one of the things to be aware of, is when you're bringing mindfulness to the body, as far as the scanning and feeling the experience of the body and the tension in the body. There's the anger or greed, how we feel physically when these strong desire arises, and we can feel the tension, we can feel the ill at ease, and then also watching the mind. Like if I'm angry, I might realize it's because I want things to be differently. If this is a certain kind of craving, I want this person to behave this way instead of that way. Why are they behaving that way? There's all those aspects, but also sometimes we might not even be aware that we're angry. We're walking around fuming and other people know it, but we don't. Why? Because we're expressing it through our facial expressions and the tension in our body and the way we're moving. So if we're bringing our awareness to that, then we're more aware of our mental states. And then when our dear loved one says something to us that we don't agree with, we're not going to blurt out something really hurtful. So it all works together. The awareness of the mind, the awareness of the body, And then the kindness and care that we're giving to ourselves, we can share that with others. So thank you for sharing that body connection, the connection to the feeling, the connection to the mental state. And as you were saying, the sooner we notice, the sooner we can diffuse the bomb of anger. Or if we are a greed type, if we're aware of the strong desire arising, we can avoid maybe taking something that we shouldn't be taking, like food or whatever, acting out of greed. Are we acting out of greed or out of need? I don't know. So I say food, but it could be ordering something online, so easy now. Just I want that. And the debt is going up and up and up. For some people, that's how greed is expressed. But being aware of the body will cue us in. This is not quite wholesome. I feel a lot of tension. What's going on? Yeah, just awareness to the mind, awareness to the body. And this is what we're developing on the cushion. So it helps us in our daily life, as well as helping us break through the darkness, break out of that shell. That's the ultimate gain of this practice. Thank you, Patipada, for bringing that up, that body emotion awareness.
Well, after arriving home, I started. It became so obvious to me after being at the monastery. So it's just, I'm living it every moment, every day, because I went into a situation where I was around so many family members. So I just wanted to share that the practice was so helpful afterwards.
Does anyone else have a comment? There's just a few minutes left. Or question? We can end if there's no other questions or comments. And I'm wishing you all a wonderful day of light and wisdom. And we don't have to wait until we make that final breakthrough. We can see the light dawning, and we can experience wisdom. That's just these observations, like Patipada was observing in herself, just even if it's about an unwholesome state, we're bringing light to that, we're bringing wisdom to that, and it helps to dispel that darkness. So we can end with a closing homage. If you have an image. This one isn't so well lit right now. Sun isn't quite hitting it. There's a Buddha image in your home, or you can imagine in your heart an image that represents awakening to you. Just turning now towards our image here. See it maybe a little bit better. the Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one. I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed one. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha. Have a wonderful day, and maybe I'll see you at 1 o'clock. We have a sutta discussion that's posted on our website. So please
Sadhu,
join
sadhu.
us.
So much.
Thank you, Ayya. Thank
You're
you very much.
welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ayya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ayya.